Hello everyone. For today, we will write the summary of findings of our research study. Okay, let's begin. Kapag gumawa tayo ng summary of findings, we refer to the statement of the problem. Your summary of findings depends on the number of questions in the SOP. Let's look at the SOP. This is an example of an SOP from the document. So, as we can see, meron tayong 5 questions sa SOP. Kaya alam na meron tayong 5 items sa summary of findings. Yung summary of findings natin kasali yun sa discussions part. So, sa discussions part, ang content nun ay summary of findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Tingnan natin yung SOP number 1. What is the profile of the respondents in terms of age? 1.1, 1.2, gender. 1.3, gadgets use. 1.4, technology in teaching. And 1.5, computer skills. O, number 1 pa lang to. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong pagkukuhanan na 5 tables about age, gender, gadgets use, technology in teaching, and computer skills. In the summary of findings, we need to answer the questions in the SOP, all of them. All subject questions in SOP 1 are included in the summary of findings number 1, which is 1 sentence only. Okay? It is important to note we will get the highest data records in the paragraphs and or tables, and those are the only ones considered in the summary and in the conclusions. It is very important to consider presenting the summary of findings with the correct grammatical sentences in the past tense, avoiding the pronouns you, I, and other personal pronouns. Use the respondents instead. Okay? Tingnan natin ang mga resulta sa bawat table na ating kukuhanan ng summary of findings for for summary 1. So, table 1, ang pinakamataas natin ay 15 to 18 years old. Table 2, ang pinakamataas natin, female. Number 3 or table 3, ang pinakamataas natin, mobile phones ang ginagamit ng ating mga respondents. Table 4, ang pinakamataas natin, ginagamit ng mga teacher ang projector. Ayan. So, kung alin yung may pinakamataas, yun lang ang kukunin natin. And then, lastly, table 5, the computer skills of the respondents is typing. Yun yung may mataas na frequency. Okay? So, mula dyan, i-summarize natin from table 1, ang may pinakamataas na age ay 15 to 18 years old. Sa table 2, female naman ang gender. Table 3, ang gadget ay mobile phones. Ang table 4, technology na ginagamit sa pagtuturo ng computer programming are projectors. And number 5 or table 5, karamihan sa mga respondents natin ay marunong mag-type. Okay? So, i-arrange lang natin yan sa isang sentence to answer the question, what is the profile of the respondents? Okay? So, dahil meron tayong 1.1 hanggang 1.5, ganun lang din, i-arrange lang din natin appropriately. So, unahin natin, the respondents were female, 15 to 18 years old, used mobile phones, take note of the word used, past tense, taught using projectors, another past tense, and can type using the computer. So, isang diretso lang na para kang nagkukwento at nandun na lahat ang mga impormasyon na kailangan nating malaman o ng mga reader ng ating research. Okay? Isang diretsong ganun. Naintindihan na kagad ng ating mga reader ang profile. Ganito pala yung katangian ng ating mga respondents. Okay? So, we're done with summary of findings number 1. Pero, of course, we need to have an introductory paragraph before we write the first summary of findings or answer to SOP number 1. So, lahat tayo, gayahin lang natin based on the data gathered. The following were the salient findings of this study. Okay? Then goes summary number 1. Hindi nyo na isusulat itong summary 1. Nilagyan ko lang para malaman lang natin kung saan ba nanggaling yung mga impormasyon na nandito sa number 1 item natin sa summary of findings. Galing yan sa tables 1 to 5. So, kung ano yung resulta, yan ang may pinakamatataas na frequency and percentage. So, number 1, the respondents were female, 15 to 18 years old, used mobile phones, taught using projectors, and can type using the computer. So, yung mga ganito, kailangan lang nating gawan ng yung ayusin lang natin yung sentence natin na madaling maintindihan. We don't have to use yung mga malalalim na mga salita. O, ganun lang. Okay? Take note of the past tenses used in the sentence. Ayan, according to my notes. Okay? Tapos na tayo ng summary 1. That's from SOP number 1. So, punta naman tayo sa SOP number 2. What are the advantages of technology in learning programming? So, kailangan sa summary natin, masagot natin to. So, alam mo na paano isasagutin to. The advantages of technology in learning programming were kung ano yung table na panggagalingan ay tignan natin. Ayan. Ang panggagalingan ng sagot natin dito sa tanong na to ay table 6. Advantages of technology in learning computer programming. And then, the researcher used Likert scale. And the composite mean is what we have to use in answering the question. So, makikita natin dito, ang pinakamahalaga dito yung agree. Yun ang galing sa composite mean na 4.17. Okay? So, from table 6, advantages of technology in learning computer programming, ang resulta, agree. Ang composite mean natin, ang verbal interpretation natin sa composite mean na 4.17. So, dapat, sagutin natin yung tanong. Okay? So, the answer to question number 2 in the SOP is, the respondents agreed that technology had advantages in learning computer programming. Karamihan sa mga researchers, no, kinukuha pa nila yung mga nandito sa paragraph kung alin yung may pinakamatataas. Hindi na, kasi doon tayo nagbabase sa composite mean. Okay, so ang ginamit na Likert scale, I'll strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, tsaka strongly disagree. So kung ano yung lumabas na composite mean, yun na yung gagamitin natin. So therefore, we already have our summary number 2. The respondents agreed that technology had advantages in learning computer programming. Okay? So, na-emphasize dito na may advantage pala yung technology. Okay? Punta naman tayo sa pangatlong SOP. What are the disadvantages of technology in learning computer programming? So, this is quite the opposite of question number 2. At tingnan natin saan manggagaling ang mga sagot natin dito. Hindi pwede na basta tumingin tayo sa internet kasi nag-survey nga tayo, guys. So, galing tayo sa table 6 kanina. So, table 7, ang may pinakamataas dito, not easily focused on task. Take note, kung alin yung pinakamataas, yun yung kukunin natin. Kung ano yung nasa unahan dito sa paragraph, yun yung kukunin natin. So, 7, 8, ang pinakamataas naman dito ay lack of equipment in terms of coding. Okay? Sa table 9 naman, ang pinakamataas dito ay lack of practice. So, yung tatlo na yon ang isasagot natin sa tanong na what are the disadvantages of technology in learning computer programming? Okay? So, paano? Paano gagawin doon? I-arrange na lang natin from table 7, 8, and 9. Ayan. So, kung ano yung mga sinasabi dyan, yun lang din yung kukunin natin. So, let's answer the question. The disadvantages of technology in learning computer programming were not easily focused on tasks. This is from table 7. Ayan, ito yon. Highlight natin. Then, table 8 naman, lack of equipment. Ayan, highlight din natin. Nakalimutan ko maglagay ng comma. And, lastly, table 9, lack of practice. Ayan, in-emphasize ko lang para malaman natin kung saan ba galing yan. So, yung una, ito, table 7, table 8, and table 9. So, ganun lang kadali guys kung paano tayo gagawa ng summary based on our question din. Yung question mo, nagawa nyo na yan ng grupo nyo, di ba? So before, hirap na hirap tayo sa paggawa ng question. Ngayon naman, hindi naman tayo maghahanap ng iba pang sagot sa question natin, kundi galing din dito sa mga responses ng ating mga respondents. Okay? So, meron tayong summary number 3. Ayan. We're down to 2. Dalawa na lang. So, ano ba yung tanong sa pang-apat? How can technology help improve teaching and learning computer programming of the respondents? O yan. Saan kukunin ang mga tanong ang mga sagot sa tanong na ito? Let's go. So, ang pinakalas natin na table ay 9 dun sa SOP or summary 3. So, we'll start with table 10. Ang pinakamataas dito ay constant practice. Ayan. Sunod, 16, understand the concept from table 11. Sa pagme-memorize daw ng code, understand the concept. Okay? Pagdating naman sa table 12, in running the program. Ang pinakamataas ay hands-on activities. Ito daw yung paraan para makatulong yung technology, no? Para ma-improve yung pag-aaral ng computer programming. So, I emphasize the important or the highest frequency and percentage from tables 10, 11, and 12. So, ang tanong natin kanina, balikan natin, how can technology help improve teaching and learning computer programming of the respondents? Let's answer that. Technology helped, take note, past tense, improve teaching and learning computer programming of the respondents in coding through constant practice. So, una, coding. Sa table 10 yan. In memorizing codes, through active practice. So, dapat by active practice to. And table 12 naman, in running the program by hands-on activities. So, pagka ginawa nyo naman tong summary, you don't have to underline. Nilagyan ko lang ng underline yan para malaman natin saan ba galing ang mga ito. Itong mga sagot na to. Okay? So, hindi natin to inimbento. Galing ito sa ating questionnaire na kayo ang gumawa. Imagine, nakagawa kayo ng questionnaire. Una muna, nagtatanong pa lang kayo. Ano nga ba gagawing mga tanong? Sumunod, nakagawa na kayo ng questionnaire. Ngayon, may sagot na tayo sa ating mga tanong, di ba? Hindi tayo yung nagsagot nun, yung ating mga respondents. And now, we're down to 1. Sa SOP number 5 na lang ang sasagutin natin. So, for SOP number 5, hindi naman nilagay ng mga researchers natin dun sa SOP itong breakdown, pero sa nakita ko, galing sa kanilang questionnaire from part 5. Browse natin yung part 5 ng kanilang questionnaire. So, dito makikita yan sa appendices. Part 5 ng questionnaire natin. Ito, makikita natin dito na merong nilagay si researcher na tatlong subtopics. Kung ano yung kung saang paraan makakatulong yung technology, saan-saang mga paraan makakatulong yung technology sa concentration para kaya nakaka-distract pala sa concentration ng mga respondents during class. O ano-ano yung mga nakaka-distract. So, tatlong paraan. Kaya dito sa number 5 SOP natin, inilagay ko na yung detalye na in terms of running the program, learning the codes, memorizing the codes. So, paano daw ba nadidistract yung concentration ng mga respondents natin during class? Okay, sa tatlo na ito. So, ito ay manggagaling sa Table 13. According to Table 13, ang nakaka-distract ay notifications and technical issues on device. Sa Table 14 naman, ang nakaka-distract ay browsing on social media. At sa Table 15, lastly, loud music daw ang nakaka-distract in terms of memorizing code. So, ngayon, isalpak na natin yung mga sagot na to, yung mga matataas na points na to, na frequency and percentage, sa ating summary 5. Ayan. So, dito, in-underline ko uli para malaman natin saan ba galing yung mga sagot na yon. So, the answer or our summary for number 5 is technology distracted the concentration of the respondents during class. First, from Table 13, in running the program through notifications and technical issues on devices. From Table 14, in learning the codes through browsing social media. From Table 15, and in memorizing the codes through loud music. Ayan. Mukhang makatotohanan naman talaga yung resulta ng ating mga mga tanong, okay? Yung mga sagot dun sa ating mga tanong. Ito talaga yung totoong nangyayari sa buhay. Okay? So, for any question, nakabuo na tayo ng 5 summary of findings. Ito na yung pagbabasihan naman natin pagdating sa conclusions and recommendations. Okay, see you again to my next video.